Now at 5, some tips to prepare your home for when winter weather moves through.
The nation's highest court takes on a landmark case that could challenge Roe v. Wade. I'm Skyler Henry outside the Supreme Court with the details and more from the hundreds protesting the case.
News starts now.
One man is in custody after authorities found stolen property and a large amount of meth at a home in Carl Junction. This is KOAM News at 5. Detectives with the Ozarks Drug Enforcement Team served a warrant at a home in CJ after what they call a long-term investigation. When authorities arrived, they found several stolen items on the property, including a stolen pickup out of Cedar County, a UTV out of Kansas, a camper out of Jasper County, and several trailers. Odette detectives also found a large amount of meth, they say, in a camper on that property. Doug Heddy joins us. Another mild day out there, Doug.
Yeah, another nice day. We are starting out December just like we ended November. Pretty much on the warm side. We've had a few mid and upper level clouds kind of streaming through, but besides that, we look pretty good. We'll get some clouds through the evening hours, but I think after 9 or 10 p.m. we'll see pretty much clear skies as we go through the overnight hours. Temperature's great. We went mid 60s again. Most of us are sitting 60 to low 60s across the region. And we have a very light kind of westerly, southwesterly wind across the region. Temperatures through the evening hours, we're going to drop back through the 50s, but only down into the mid 40s a little bit later on tonight. Warms up even more over the next couple days. We're going to look at that coming up here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Thanks, Doug. Now that it's December, it might be time to start thinking of ways to weatherize your home. And experts say it's not just something to do in the winter months. The Economic Security Corporation's Weatherization Unit says there are things we can do right now and even year-round to prepare homes for all kinds of weather. They tell us the biggest issue people called about last year had to do with their pipes freezing.
When we weatherize a home, we use pipe wrap. So it is a pipe insulation, a foam pipe insulation. You can pick it up at Lowe's, Home Depot, any of your hardware stores around. That just adds a little extra coverage to your pipes to keep them from freezing. You can also use heat tape.
Tonight at 6, we're going to have more tips on how to weatherize your home and the services Economic Security provides to the area. Brings us to today's KOAM News Now Insta Poll. Today's question, is there a thermostat battle in your house? Your options are yes and I win, yes and I lose, or no because I surrender. Maybe no because you agree. You can vote at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. We're going to check in on the results a little bit later in this newscast. Huge day at the U.S. Supreme Court where the future of abortion rights hangs in the balance. Hundreds of protesters on both sides of the issue descended on the nation's capital as the 9 justices heard arguments in the case that could overturn Roe v. Wade. Reporter Skyler Henry is outside the Supreme Court with more.
Protesters were divided by metal fences outside the U.S. Supreme Court. Inside, justices heard oral arguments for the most consequential challenge to the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision on abortion to date.
Life is worth protecting from conception.
We're moving towards a society where we're forcing people to give birth, and that's not the solution.
At the heart of the case, known as Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization, is a Mississippi law that bans abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy.
This is a wonderful opportunity to return this to the people.
This case is a major test of the High Court's 6-3 conservative majority, with a decision expected before summer of next year.
Why should this court be the arbiter rather than Congress, the state legislatures, state Supreme Courts, the people?
They're going to be ready to say, no, you're just political. You're just politicians. And that's what kills us as an American institution.
21 conservative states have already passed laws banning all or almost all abortions if Roe v. Wade is overturned, while 16 states are working on legislation to protect access to abortion.
I support Roe v. Wade. I think it's a rational position to take.
A recent CBS News poll showed a majority want the Roe v. Wade decision to stay as is. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
Last month, the U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments on a Texas state law that allows civil suits to be brought against anyone involved in getting an abortion as early as 6 weeks into pregnancy. The Supreme Court may rule on that case soon. Still ahead, the push for electric mowers.
California becomes the first state to start phasing out some gas-powered lawn equipment. I'm Anthony Pura with what's behind the move and if other states could follow suit.
And next in Health Watch, an inside look at the process of trying to sequence the Omicron COVID variant. Topping today's Health Watch, researchers in London have developed a new treatment for patients with HIV. Nearly 40 million people around the globe live with the disease, and just last year, 680,000 people died from AIDS-related illnesses, according to the United Nations. Till recently, their only treatment option was taking a cocktail of drugs every day. Well, now scientists have developed an injection that, when taken 6 times a year, is just as effective as previous treatments. That injection has been approved in the U.S. More countries are reporting cases of the Omicron variant, including the U.S., with the first reported case in California. Scientists in the U.S. are working to understand this new strain and how contagious it may be. Reporter David Begnow got an inside look in New York City.
Health officials around the world are concerned about the new variant Omicron because it has a never-before-seen number of spike proteins, which the virus uses to enter cells in the human body. There are labs around the U.S. that are testing to see where Omicron is going to pop up first.
We're sequencing the COVID genome of thousands of positive COVID samples.
We went to the Pandemic Response Lab just outside New York City to meet John Laurent. He is head of research and development here. The U.S. is sequencing 80,000 positive PCR tests every week to look for variants. That way, they can determine how fast the variants are spreading and how infectious they are. About 2,000 of those sequences occur right here.
Our turnaround time here, once we get a sample in, is about 3 days.
That may seem like a long time, but these scientists insist it is as fast as they can go. The samples are pooled together, sequenced, and analyzed to search for Omicron and other variants. Right now, the Delta variant makes up more than 99% of cases worldwide.
How long did it take for Delta to become the majority of all COVID-positive patients in New York City?
Thinking back on that, I think it was probably 6 to 8 weeks from the time we first sort of saw it and then really saw it take off. And it took off very quickly.
That's pretty fast.
Yes, it was very fast.
So is it your guess that once you detect Omicron, within, let's say, a month and a half to 2 months, it could be the majority of everything?
It could definitely be.
Scientists say over the next week or two, they're going to learn a lot more about how this new variant will impact the pandemic. David Begnow, CBS News, New York.
According to the World Health Organization, Omicron is the 5th COVID-19 variant of concern identified. The last one was the Delta variant. People with asthma and allergies such as hay fever and atopic eczema may have some protection against COVID-19. That's according to a study in the UK that looked at 16,000 people and found those with certain allergy conditions and asthma had a 38% lower risk of COVID infection. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Judek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about cats and grocery bags.
And it gets even warmer over the next few days. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be another nice day to kick off the month of November. Temperatures again back into the mid-60s for afternoon highs, which is pretty good for this time of the year. In fact, we're sitting upper 50s to lower 60s, especially once you get out across our western counties. We're into the mid-60s, so super nice across most of the area. In fact, let me go back 2 maps here and, oh, never mind. But you can see the winds are fairly light. If we can go, let's see where we'll go. There we go. The winds are fairly light out of the northwest, kind of westerly at about 5 to 10. So it actually looks pretty good. And it looks like as we go through the evening hours, we're going to have pretty nice temperatures. Check out this sunset. Absolutely beautiful. We got these mid and upper level clouds across the region. Currently sitting at 60 west winds, 5 to 10. Humidity is low. Of course, it is getting dark. So as it gets darker, temperatures are going to be dropping back. We're going to slide back through the 50s down to 50 by midnight, but not too cold tonight, only down into the mid 40s for overnight lows. But we do have those mid and upper level clouds kind of streaming through. And this is what we're going to see as we go through the evening hours. And I think after 9 or 10 o'clock, we'll see pretty much clear skies as these clouds kind of brush through, and then we look pretty good. Out to the west, still nothing going on. We can't get any big storm systems in here. You can see right where the jet stream is, right up in the southern parts of Canada, and then it takes a dip out across the central parts of the U.S., but we're still dominated by this big dome of high pressure. This will start to break down a little bit for us next week. Then we'll start to see a few changes. All right, let's go through time for us tonight. Eventually, we'll get clear skies. We'll drop back, mid-40s, looks fine. Thursday looks fantastic. It's not going to be too windy. We get these southwesterly winds, and I think most of us will go well into the 70s. 46 to start, 69 by noon, high temp of 74 degrees. Southwesterly winds at about 5 to 10. We'll be into the mid to upper 70s in our western counties, so it looks great. We'll get a few clouds in here tomorrow night by Friday morning. We're only going to drop back to about 50, and then more clouds on Friday, but I still think we're going to go into lower 70s for highs. We're going to get a cold front in here Friday evening. You can see a few showers trying to pop up, so these are going to be very hit and miss showers Friday night, and then as we go into Saturday, we'll start to warm things back up. We'll start off cold, but then we're going to warm up again during the afternoon. But we are going to have this weak little wave that will give us a few random showers during the daytime hours on Saturday. But look at our temps. We're still in the 60s for highs. Showers stick around Saturday night, and a few even on Sunday. Then a cold front drops through. And look at this. We could even get some light snow showers by Sunday evening, turning much colder by Monday, and then we start to warm back up Tuesday with our next storm system rolling in. So the pattern does start to pick up just a bit as we go into next week. 74 for us tomorrow, 72 on Friday, 64 with a few showers Saturday and Sunday, 63 Sunday, but we're going to drop down into the 20s by Sunday night. A little bit cooler Monday, back to the 60s Tuesday, back down into the 40s Wednesday, so we get those swinging temperatures. And tonight at 10 o'clock, we'll do the month-long forecast, go all the way into New Year's.
Looking forward to that. Yeah. Certainly a nice start.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Thanks, Doug. Social work students at Pitt State today showcased their hard work. The Community Project Showcase was a chance for students to present how they've been helping members of the community, ranging from foster children to veterans. One student sold traditional Mexican food to raise money for an immigration shelter near the southern border.
I've learned that I can make a positive impact in people's lives, even if like I'm not close to them. Like I didn't know I was capable of doing this. I guess I didn't really believe in myself.
Social work students at PSU can now pursue a master's degree through a partnership with KU. Coming up, a gas-powered lawn equipment ban. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Howard Peterson served in the U.S. Navy from 1950 to 52. The Seneca, Missouri native was stationed in Japan and Korea. And we salute Seaman First Class Howard Peterson, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, one retail trade group says the newest coronavirus strain could shake up holiday spending. The National Retail Trade Federation previously predicted seasonal sales would rise to a record of as much as $859 billion by the end of December. Spending was expected to be spread across experience-based gifts like travel, restaurants, spa days. The trade group is now predicting those dollars will be redirected to toys, electronics, and clothes. A big change at Twitter when it comes to privacy. The company is now prohibiting users from sharing photos or videos of a private person without that person's permission. The ban is more broad than U.S. law, which allows people to be filmed or photographed when in public places. Millions of Americans own gas-powered lawnmowers, but that could be changing. One state is making the switch to electric mowers, and experts believe other states could eventually do the same. Reporter Anthony Pura explains.
David Hernandez is with Sod and Turf Pros in Los Angeles and has used gas-powered equipment for years. He understands electric tools are the future, but there are pros and cons.
You won't be having all that gas up your nose, be inhaling it, because I mean, I've been there, I've done that.
One trade-off is usage time. He bought an electric leaf blower, but has to operate it sparingly.
It doesn't last as long, right? So we use a battery. It only lasts me like 20, 30 minutes. And then after that, I have to go charge it.
Homeowners are snatching up e-powered products, but it's a harder transition for lawn care companies running lots of devices all day. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill into law making California the first state to ban the sale of gas-powered lawn equipment by 2024 in an effort to curb emissions. Lawmakers supporting the ban say the gas-powered equipment produces high levels of pollutants that impact human health, emissions that can lead to lung cancer, heart disease, and respiratory problems. According to the California Air Resources Board, using a commercial gas-powered lawnmower for an hour creates the same amount of smog-forming pollution as driving a car 300 miles from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. USC environmental law professor Robin Craig says other states could follow.
We'll see how manufacturers react. I think the easier that manufacturers make it for other states to adopt the same sort of ban, the more states will do it.
Hernandez and consumers can still use their gas-powered lawnmowers in 2024, but any brand new equipment purchased will have to be electric. Anthony Pura, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Home prices are up nearly 20% from a year ago. That's according to the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller National Home Price Index. Prices rose 19.5% in November compared to last year. That's actually slightly down from the year-over-year for October. Phoenix, Arizona, Tampa, and Miami, Florida were the three markets with the strongest growth. Our Pet Vet on Call next. Up next in the CBS Evening News, a look at the least affordable housing market, Boise, Idaho. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more tips on preparing your home for winter weather. Plus, McDonald County students and first responders partner up to go Christmas shopping. And we're going to hear from the Webb City Cardinals as they prepare for the Class 5 football state title game. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Let's take another look at our KOAM News Now Insta Poll. We're asking, is there a thermostat battle in your house? So far, majority 54%, yes there is and I win. 26% say yes there is and I lose. 20% say no battle because I kind of surrender. You do still have time to vote at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. We're going to have the final results on this poll on KOAM News at 10. Every cat has its own personality, but some habits are pretty common among all of them. Today's question for our Pet Vet on Call: why do cats like to get into bags, boxes, and other small spaces?
That comes from their natural predatory behavior. They stalk and hide on their prey, and then when they get close, they pounce out and catch them, and then they have their food. Now, it's an instinctive behavior, but obviously your cat's intention is not to catch you and eat you. They are trying to initiate you in play. So give them that satisfaction. Play with your kitty a little bit.
It's always reassuring to hear that your pet doesn't want to eat you. We invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday here on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. Now let's check out our picks of the litter for the week from the Joplin Humane Society. You'll find lots of cats and kittens not necessarily hiding in bags, and we've chosen this striped beauty. He's an adult male named Sparky. And this Snow White adult female husky mix is named Alaska. Appropriately, if you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? There are always some great pets available.
You know, growing up as a kid, we always had cats, and I always thought they were plotting my death. They were staring at me for 30 minutes, and that's why I'm a dog person.
It's their predatory nature, apparently, and you look like prey.
I guess so.
You survived.
I did.
Okay. The weather.
Looks pretty good, actually. We're going to warm up even more. 74 tomorrow, 72 on Friday, 64 on Saturday. We are going to get some on and off light showers, and then we hit the roller coaster as we start into next week. Again, month long, tonight at 10.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.